I want to talk about intellectual debates and how intellectual debates are fun to me. Like, I love a good disagreement. Like, and people don't understand what I mean because it's not like I like to argue. Well, it's complicated. I like to mentally push back and forth with somebody. Like, if I have an idea, I like people to push back on my ideas. Um, I like it when people, are critical or like analyze my information, or like, I love it when people talk shit about me, right? I love it when whatever, because that is an opportunity for me to have an intellectual debate, an intellectual conversation, an intellectual workout. So, or it's like an intellectual boxing match, right? Like, boxers genuinely enjoy boxing. So, like, I actually enjoy conversating, and I enjoy rough conversations. I don't. I think I've always been like this, right? I've gotten more like this as I've taught myself how to communicate better. How it's like, I won't really debate something that I don't like. If I don't understand it, I'm not going to debate it. If I do understand it, I will debate it because I understand it enough to be pushed on, right? Like, if you have an idea that you don't mind being questioned by others, then your idea is like, you are really solid in your idea. But if you have an idea that you don't want people questioning, that means your idea is not as solid proof as you think it is. Because if it was as solid, or if you believed your idea as much as you think you do, you would be okay with having other people disagree with you and telling you why they disagree, or telling you why you might be wrong. And the problem is our ego gets involved. I like intellectual debates, and I said that instead of saying I like arguments, because the ego will argue over dumb shit, while the consciousness has intellectual debates trying, like, there's a reason, there's a point. Growth, right? Evolution, expansion, gaining knowledge, gaining information, learning how to apply that information, figuring out better information. Like, maybe we have information that then we replace as, yeah, and you can know something, but if you never, like, if you stay in your little bubble, your little echo chamber, you're only going to know what you know. And if you never put yourself into situations or around people who are willing to disagree with you, then, like, you're never going to know any more than what you know right now. It's that. So I think people's problem is their ego. Like, it's across the fucking board, but, like, the ego is a huge problem because people get too attached. People want to be smart, people want to be right, people want that shit, and I don't. And people get mad at me when I say that, and I'd be like, yo, bro, I don't want to be right. And they'd be like, you're a know-it-all, or you always gotta know. And it's like, bro, where's that coming from? What the fuck? I've never said I'm a know-it-all or whatever the fuck. I just do a lot of research. This is my life. I learn a lot. I get and then I express what I've experienced, express my knowledge, express this or whatever. Um, I've had many conversations with so many people, and I love conversating with people where it's a little pushy. Because how else can I learn? Like, I don't want to just sit there, conversate, and be like, DMT is what happens when we die, and this is whatever, and everyone's like, yeah, I agree. End of conversation. Like, no, I want somebody to be like, bro, are you just on them drugs again? Like, I want somebody to disagree. I want somebody to talk shit. I want somebody to whatever, because then it starts the conversation. How can you start expanding the conversation if all you're repeating is your points, and your points are being repeated back to you? Like an echo chamber. People put themselves in an echo chamber because it feels better to be in an echo chamber. Like, people get too attached to wanting to be right, wanting to be smart, instead of just enjoying the process of learning, enjoying the process of gaining new information, enjoying the process of becoming a better version of you. Like, people are so caught up with the end destination of every fucking thing, whether it's knowledge, money, fame, life. Like, people are rushing through life so much, it's like, damn. So, I like to be intellectually pushed, so I'll put myself into situations where I'm intellectually pushed. I guess it's because even when I was a wannabe thug, right, when I didn't know myself, I just wanted to know things. Like, I just wanted to know. Back then, it was I wanted to know music, and I wanted to know how to make digital music, and yeah, all that, whatever. But I've always had this thing where I like to learn what I like to learn. Like, if I'm interested in it, I really want to learn about it. But over the years, obviously I've had many conversations with people who push back on my conversations, and that's what I want. But what I've noticed is that people will get upset because, this is why over the years, now I wasn't always like this. But over the years, I've learned how to separate myself from myself. Like, it's all connected. The meditation has taught me how to conversate better. It taught me how to feel better. It taught me how to whatever better, because I can have an idea. I can have a belief, but I am only the observer of my own idea. I am only the observer of my own belief. I'm only the observer of my own thoughts. So, because I'm only the observer of my own thoughts, when I'm having a conversation with somebody about my beliefs or about what I want to do or about life or about this or about that, whatever, I'm not attached to what I believe. My beliefs don't have nothing to do with my identity. Like, it has nothing to do with me. It's not my business. Like, that's kind of how I live, where it's like, I am the observer of my thoughts, of my mind, and as the observer, what's going on in the mind is really not my business, but it is, but it's not. Like, it's complicated. Because if my mind has a belief and it wants to hold on to that belief, it's almost like my ego and consciousness are just there, right? And it's like the ego does its own thing. It's going to get attached to ideas. It's going to get attached to life. It's going to get attached to this. It's going to get attached to that. What the consciousness can do is observe these attachments and observe which attachments need to detach and which attachments, like, this is really about learning how to analyze yourself, learning how to look at yourself, and learning how to think for yourself. And you'll never really know how to think for yourself until you're able to be pushed. Like, don't get too attached to beliefs. Like, as much as I talk about my shamanic beliefs and how I believe DMT is what happens when we die, and, the shamans were, using these things, and there's other dimensions and life after, like, the whole thing, yeah. If somebody can come to me with proof, evidence, good conversation, and whatever, that my idea is wrong and this is why, and here's a better idea and whatever, then I'm going to go for the better idea. I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, my idea is right and I'm going to defend it. No. I will defend my idea, like, intellectually, but I'm not going to egotistically defend my idea. So I'm not going to go out of my way to egotistically defend my idea or to get upset about how people might not believe what I believe, or they might not understand what I understand, or they might not get it, or they might not whatever. Like, that's not my problem. If other people get it, if other people believe what I believe, that's not my business. Just like it's not my business with myself, in a sense. My business is to only express my own beliefs, express my thoughts, express how I feel, and then be okay. I actually want people to push back on what I believe. I want my peers to criticize me. I want my peers, obviously my peers aren't going to talk shit about me, but they can, though, in a sense. Like, the people that I've gotten to know over the years, and the people that will get to know me over the years, right, and the people I've had conversations with and intellectual debates with, like, there's never a bad feeling in me. I could be getting hype about a conversation. I could be whatever. But it's never aggression. It's never whatever. It's just literally, I love intellectual debates. I love being pushed mentally. So, yeah. I think we need to work on, like, enjoying when we are wrong. Like, when somebody says... When a bunch of people in your life tell you something about yourself, you need to shut up and just listen. And your ego is going to say, no, that's not true. Your ego is going to say, blah, 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 blah. But no, it is true. So many of us don't look enough at ourselves because we're not pushed enough. We're not in situations where our ideas are pushed. We're not in situations where our beliefs are pushed. When people talk about depression, anxiety, the reason why this thing's been able to go on for so long is because there hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't been able to be an idea that can push back. There hasn't b hasn't been able to be ideas that can push back from the ideas that are here right now. So that's why I push back with my ideas, and people will push back with their ideas, and we will just eventually become smarter people.